Now I will talk about paths. So a path is a walk in which every vertex in the walk's defining sequence is unique. So looking at this example from the previous video, this walk right here, this walk is not a path. Now, why is it not a path? It's not a path because not every vertex in this defining sequence is unique or different, right? There's repeats. And let's see, a repeat would be V4 is repeated. You can also see that V3 is repeated, right? So if you have a walk where there's repeated vertices with repeated vertices in there, then that means that it's not a path. And this also makes sense visually. All right, so let's have a look at that. All right, so V1 to V2, that's that edge, right? So that's that right there. V2 to V3, that's that part represented right there. V3 to V4, that's that part there. Now in blue, I'll do the parts that that kind of take us on, say, the scenic route. So V4 to V5, right? And it makes sense to think of it as like a scenic route. Say you're on a drive from Boise to Caldwell. You could take a side trip and go out to Marsing, right? You could take a side trip. V5 to V6, V6 to V7. Here we are on the side trip, right? And then now V7 to V3. And then we repeat this part here, right? Again, V3 to V4, there. Now, back to unique parts, we have there and there. That's that and that. So what you can see here is that every walk contains a path. So if you have a walk that has repeated vertices, you can shorten that and turn it into a path, which means basically you go on a scenic route like we did here. We went from town V1 to town V2 to town V3 to town V4, and then we went off on the scenic route to town V5, V6, V7, back to V3, back to V4, and then we're on the direct route from V4 to V8 to V9. All right, so if we were to shorten this up here, you could see that we could just go the direct route, and that would be V1, V2, V3, V4, V8, V9. And in fact, let's see, think about that now. There is, in fact, so V1 to V2, that's exactly this right there. V2 to V3, that's exactly that right there. V3 to V4, that's exactly that right there. V4 to V8, that's exactly that right there. V8 to V9, that's exactly that right there. Okay, so the thing to notice here is that, right, in this walk that's not a path, there are repeated vertices, meaning that we went on the scenic route. In this walk that is a path, because remember, paths are walks where there's no repeated vertices in the defining sequence, right? And see, there are no repeats down here. So this is in fact a path from V1 to V9.